The Amazon doesn't play fair. It doesn't give you a warning. It doesn't care if you're the toughest survivalist on YouTube or just a lost tourist with a GoPro. The moment you step into its thick, sweaty, mosquito-infested green maze, you're officially on the menu. And the jungle's predators. They've been perfecting the art of murder for millions of years. Imagine walking through the dense undergrowth, every step sounding like you just crunched a bag of tortilla chips. You stop. Silence. And then, boom! A set of golden eyes flicker between the leaves. Congratulations, you're now being hunted. This is the Amazon, where death comes in 4 categories: crushers, biters, injectors, and nightmares. The crushers, the ones who don't care about venom. They'll just squeeze the soul out of you like an empty toothpaste tube. Think anacondas and caimans, basically nature's version of a mafia debt collector. The biters, these guys keep it simple. A bite, a crunch, and you're done. Jaguars, skull crushers, piranhas, tiny knives with fins. Giant otters, yeah, those fluffy little river demons can rip apart a caiman like it's a McNugget. The injectors, the let me make your life miserable before you die squad. Poison dart frogs don't even have to touch you. Just licking one is a death wish. Then there's the Bushmaster Viper, which injects enough venom to shut down your body like an old laptop. The nightmares, not strong, not big, just pure evil. The Candiru fish, a tiny parasitic demon that swims into places it has no business being. Google it at your own risk. And the botfly, which lovingly deposits its eggs under your skin so baby maggots can have a buffet. But here's the best part. These creatures don't just hunt because they're hungry. Oh no, that would be too simple. Some of them kill just because they can. A jaguar could take down a tapir, but nah. Why not spice things up and body slam a caiman for fun? A harpy eagle could go for a squirrel, but why not abduct a sloth like it's a UFO abduction? And that's what makes the Amazon so terrifyingly beautiful. Every leaf hides a killer, every branch holds a threat, and every ripple in the water might just be your last. Ready to meet the first real predator? Good. But don't get too comfortable. This one hunts in complete silence. Deep in the Amazon rainforest, where every shadow hides something that wants to kill you, the true king of the jungle moves unseen. It doesn't roar to announce its presence like a lion, nor does it chase its prey in an exhausting sprint like a cheetah. No, the jaguar is different. It waits in silence, blending into the thick undergrowth, golden eyes locked onto its next victim. The unfortunate creature, perhaps a capybara enjoying its last meal, has no idea that it is being hunted. It won't hear the jaguar coming. It won't feel the breath of death behind it. Because when a jaguar decides to kill, it does so with terrifying efficiency. One explosive leap, a crushing bite, and the jungle claims another life. Unlike other big cats that rely on suffocating their prey with a throat bite, the jaguar doesn't waste time. It prefers a more direct approach, biting straight through the skull. With the strongest bite force of any big cat on Earth, over 1,500 psi, pounds per square inch, it has enough power to crush a human skull like a walnut. That's stronger than a tiger's bite, stronger than a lion's, and more than enough to break the armored shell of a turtle or the thick bones of a caiman. While other predators need to wear down their prey, jaguars don't play with their food. They kill instantly, their dagger-like canine teeth piercing straight into the brain, shutting down their victim in a single crunch. The jaguar's body is built for this brutal efficiency. Unlike the lanky cheetah or the bulky lion, the jaguar is a perfect balance of muscle, speed, and raw power. Its thick, muscular frame allows it to take down prey twice its size and carry it up into trees with ease, much like a professional bodybuilder hoisting a deadlift. Yet despite its size, the jaguar is shockingly agile, able to leap 10 feet into the air or pounce forward with an explosive burst that leaves its prey no chance to escape. It is one of the few big cats that truly embraces water, swimming through rivers effortlessly, making even aquatic creatures like fish, turtles, and caimans a part of its already extensive diet. In the Amazon, patience is a killer's greatest weapon, and the jaguar is the ultimate ambush predator. Unlike the savanna where predators rely on sight, the jungle is dense, humid, and filled with endless places to hide. Jaguars take full advantage of this environment, moving silently through the undergrowth, their rosette-patterned fur making them nearly invisible in the shifting light of the forest floor. They can stalk prey for hours without making a sound, waiting for the perfect moment. And when they strike, it happens in an instant. A burst of raw power, a single deadly leap, and a bite that crushes bone before the victim even understands what happened. Water doesn't offer any safety either. Most predators avoid deep rivers, but jaguars have no such hesitation. If a jaguar spots a caiman basking on the riverbank, it won't wait for an opportunity. It creates one. Moving soundlessly through the water, it closes the distance with eerie precision. Then in one powerful motion, it launches itself onto the unsuspecting reptile, clamping down on its skull with a bite that even an armored predator cannot withstand. This ability to dominate both land and water makes the jaguar the ultimate apex predator of the Amazon, feared by everything from deer to monkeys, from sloths to giant river otters, and even other top predators like caimans. But the jaguar's menu doesn't stop there. It is one of the most opportunistic hunters in the world, willing to eat anything that moves. Monkeys, capybaras, deer, tapirs, and even livestock like cows and horses fall victim to its relentless hunger. Birds and fish are not safe, and neither are creatures that most other predators would avoid. Giant turtles, whose shells it crushes with ease, and caimans, who learn too late that they are not the rulers of the river after all. The jaguar doesn't specialize in one type of prey. It simply hunts whatever it wants, whenever it wants. Despite its unmatched strength and deadly hunting skills, jaguars don't usually target humans. Unlike tigers, which have been known to actively hunt people, jaguars prefer to stay hidden, avoiding unnecessary encounters. However, that doesn't mean they can't or won't attack if provoked. There are documented cases of jaguars attacking humans, often in areas where their natural habitat has been destroyed or where food is scarce. If a jaguar sees a human as a threat, or worse, as potential prey, it will strike without hesitation. And unlike other predators that give warning signs, the jaguar offers no such courtesy. If it decides to attack, you won't hear it coming. With a combination of unmatched power, lethal bite strength, exceptional stealth, and the ability to dominate both land and water, the jaguar isn't just another predator in the Amazon. It is the apex predator, the silent executioner, the undisputed king of the jungle. Everything else in the rainforest, from the smallest rodent to the mightiest caiman, lives in fear of this golden-spotted nightmare. And now that we've met the most powerful hunter on land, it's time to meet an even deadlier threat, the ones that kill with venom. The Amazon is full of creatures that kill with brute force. Jaguars that crush skulls, anacondas that squeeze the life out of anything that moves, and caimans that lurk beneath the water, waiting to drag their victims to a watery grave. But sometimes, killing isn't about strength. Sometimes the deadliest weapon isn't claws or fangs, it's chemistry. In this jungle, death can be invisible. A single bite, a tiny sting, or even just a touch of the wrong creature, and your body betrays you. Your muscles lock up, your vision blurs, your heart races until it suddenly stops. Welcome to the world of the venomous assassins. The Amazon is home to some of the most potent, nightmarish venoms on the planet. Snakes that can melt flesh, frogs so toxic that even touching them is a bad idea, spiders that can send you into convulsions followed by paralysis and, if you're lucky, a slow, painful death. Unlike the jaguar, which at least has the courtesy of ending things quickly, these creatures play with their food in the worst way possible. And the worst part? You won't see them coming. The Bushmaster viper, the ghost with fangs. Let's start with a snake so deadly that even its name sounds like something out of a horror movie. The Bushmaster viper. If the jaguar is the silent stalker of the jungle, then this snake is the ghost. It doesn't chase its prey. It doesn't need to. Instead, it hides in the leaf litter, coiled and patient, waiting for an unlucky victim to step just a little too close. And when that happens, boom, a lightning-fast strike, fangs as long as your fingers sinking deep into flesh, and the jungle suddenly goes quiet. But the horror show is only beginning. Unlike some snakes that inject just enough venom to get the job done, the Bushmaster drowns its prey in poison. Its venom is a hemotoxin, meaning it doesn't just kill, it destroys. The moment it enters the bloodstream, it begins breaking down tissue, blood vessels, and even muscle. Victims don't just die, they liquefy from the inside out. Even jaguars, kings of the Amazon, know better than to mess with this viper. A jaguar can crush bone, but if it gets too close to a Bushmaster, that powerful body will be useless within minutes. There are reports of people stepping on one by accident, only to drop dead before they could even take 10 steps. And if that wasn't bad enough, Bushmasters can grow over 10 feet long. That's right, this thing isn't just deadly, it's huge. It's one of the largest venomous snakes in the world, and it uses its size to strike faster and farther than anyone expects. Unlike the anaconda, which needs to wrap around its prey to kill, the Bushmaster just bites once, then slithers back into the shadows, letting the venom do all the work. But the Bushmaster isn't the only snake playing this game. Because if you think one strike is bad, imagine getting bitten multiple times in a row. The fer de lance, the snake that attacks for fun. If the Bushmaster is the ghost, then the fer de lance is the psychopath. This snake isn't just deadly, it's aggressive. Unlike most snakes, which bite only when they feel threatened, the fer de lance will actually chase its victims down. That's right. It doesn't just strike and wait. It bites, lunges, and bites again, injecting more venom each time, ensuring there is absolutely no chance of survival. The venom, even worse than the Bushmaster's. Not only does it destroy tissue, but it also causes uncontrollable internal bleeding. Some victims start bleeding from their eyes, nose, and even skin. If the bite doesn't kill you, the massive hemorrhaging will. And the worst part? These snakes are everywhere. The fer de lance doesn't hide in deep remote parts of the jungle. It's found near rivers, along hiking trails, and even close to villages. It's so deadly that locals call it the snake of death. And unlike the Bushmaster, which prefers to be left alone, the fer de lance has been known to attack even when unprovoked. Now let's move away from fangs and into something even more terrifying. Because while snakes rely on biting, some of the Amazon's deadliest killers don't even need to move to take you down. Poison dart frogs, the cutest murderers in the jungle. Look, at first glance these frogs seem harmless. They're tiny, they're brightly colored. Some of them even look like they belong in a children's cartoon. But make no mistake, these little guys are walking death. Poison dart frogs don't just carry venom, they are venom. Their skin is coated in batrachotoxin, one of the deadliest natural poisons in existence. Just touching them can be enough to send your nervous system into shutdown mode. If you were to somehow get this poison into your bloodstream, your muscles would lock up permanently, including your lungs and heart. That means you suffocate while being fully conscious, unable to move, unable to breathe, just slowly slipping away while your body completely betrays you. Some of these frogs are so toxic that a single one carries enough venom to kill 10 fully grown men. Indigenous tribes in the Amazon figured this out long ago and began using their toxins on blow darts, which is how they got their name. One tiny scratch from a dart coated in this stuff, and you're done. No chance, no cure, and the most terrifying part. Poison dart frogs don't even produce their own venom. They get it from what they eat, mostly tiny venomous insects. That means if you were to take a poison dart frog and raise it in captivity, feeding it regular food, it would lose its venom completely. But in the wild, it's one of the deadliest creatures in the rainforest. But what if I told you there was something worse? What if I told you there's a spider out here that can kill you in a way that's both excruciating and absolutely ridiculous? The Brazilian wandering spider, nature's worst joke. Meet the Brazilian wandering spider, an 8-legged nightmare that holds the Guinness World Record for the most venomous spider on Earth. Unlike most spiders, which build webs and wait for food to come to them, this one doesn't wait. It hunts. It roams the jungle floor at night, moving from one hiding spot to another, looking for something, anything, to sink its fangs into. Its venom is a neurotoxin, meaning it attacks the nervous system, causing uncontrollable muscle spasms, difficulty breathing, and eventual paralysis. But that's not even the worst part. In men, this spider's bite can cause something known as priapism, a medical condition where, let's just say things become uncomfortably active for hours on end. Imagine being bitten by a spider and your body responding completely the wrong way. And just when you think that's bad enough, the venom eventually shuts down your organs and kills you. So to summarize, the Brazilian wandering spider doesn't just kill you, it ruins your dignity first. Final thoughts: the invisible killers of the Amazon. While jaguars rule the jungle with brute force, these venomous assassins dominate through sheer biochemical warfare. Whether it's snakes that melt flesh, frogs that kill on contact, or spiders that turn your last moments into an awkward joke, one thing is certain: the Amazon is not a place for the weak. And if you thought venom was scary, just wait. Because next up, we're diving. The Amazon rainforest is a place where everything is either hunting or being hunted. But if you thought the jungle floor was a dangerous place to walk, just wait until you step into the water. Because in the rivers, lakes, and flooded forests of the Amazon, the rules of survival change completely. Here, you don't see the predator until it's already too late. On land, you might have a fighting chance. You can hear a jaguar's footsteps, spot a venomous snake in the leaves, or at least attempt to run if something terrifying jumps at you. But in the Amazon's dark, murky waters, you're blind. You have no idea what's lurking beneath you. You don't know what's circling your legs. And worse, you can't run. Welcome to the home of the Amazon's river monsters. The Black Caiman, the river's apex executioner. Imagine you're paddling through a calm, still part of the Amazon River. The water is eerily quiet, reflecting the thick green jungle around you. It feels peaceful, too peaceful. Then, without warning, the water erupts. A massive jaw clamps around you, and before you can even scream, you're yanked under, swallowed by the blackness. Congratulations, you just met the Black Caiman. While the Nile crocodile might be the most famous reptilian killer in Africa, the Amazon has its own prehistoric assassin. The Black Caiman is the largest predator in the entire rainforest, growing up to 20 feet long and weighing over 1,300 pounds. That's a living dinosaur that could easily be mistaken for a floating log until it decides to drag something to its doom. These beasts have perfected the art of the ambush. They lurk just below the surface, their eyes barely peeking out of the water, waiting for an animal to get a little too close to the edge. Then, in less than a second, they explode from the water, clamping their massive jaws down with 5,000 psi of crushing force, stronger than even a jaguar's bite. And once they have you, game over. The Caiman's signature move is the death roll, a terrifying technique where they spin their entire body while holding their prey in their jaws, twisting and breaking bones in the process. If that doesn't kill you, drowning will. They don't even bother eating their victims right away. Sometimes they just stuff their kill under a rock or tree root, letting it rot before coming back for a soft, easy meal. And just to make things worse, these monsters don't care what they eat. Fish, birds, capybaras, deer, monkeys, even jaguars. That's right. The king of the jungle isn't always the king of the river. There have been documented cases of black caimans killing full-grown jaguars when the cat got a little too confident near the water's edge. But let's say you somehow avoid the caiman. You make it to the middle of the river thinking you're safe. Guess what? You're not. Because now you're in Arapaima territory. Arapaima, the prehistoric giant that hunts above and below. Most fish are harmless. Most fish avoid trouble. Most fish don't grow over 10 feet long and weigh more than 400 pounds, while being fully capable of punching a human unconscious. The Arapaima is not like most fish. This prehistoric monster has been around for millions of years, surviving mass extinctions while barely changing at all. Why? Because it's already the perfect predator. With massive armor-like scales that can deflect piranha bites, this fish is nearly indestructible. And it isn't just a slow, lazy bottom feeder, it's an air-breathing hunter. Unlike most fish that rely solely on gills, the Arapaima must surface for air every 15 minutes. That means while you're looking at the water, wondering if something is watching you, the Arapaima is already there, just beneath the surface, waiting. And when it strikes, it doesn't nibble, it attacks with full force. The Arapaima launches itself completely out of the water, slamming into birds, monkeys, and even people with the force of a small wrecking ball. There have been cases where fishermen were knocked unconscious just by getting hit in the chest by this fish. And if that wasn't enough, its mouth is lined with small, dagger-like teeth. Because why not make a flying torpedo even deadlier? But if you think getting smacked unconscious by a giant fish is bad, just wait until you meet something that eats flesh faster than you can scream. Piranhas, the tiny monsters that strip you to the bone. No animal in the Amazon has been more exaggerated, misunderstood, and feared than the infamous piranha. Thanks to Hollywood, people think piranhas are mindless, bloodthirsty killers that can strip a cow to the bone in seconds. While that's not entirely true, it's not entirely false either. Piranhas are perfectly designed eating machines. With razor-sharp teeth and an insane bite force for their size, these fish can tear through flesh with terrifying efficiency. Their jaws are so strong that even when piranhas die, their locked jaws have to be pried open manually. And here's the real nightmare. Those teeth regrow throughout their entire life. So are they actually dangerous? The answer is yes, but only under the right conditions. While most piranhas won't attack large animals unless they're starving or the water levels drop, making food scarce, there have been cases of them going into full feeding frenzies when they smell blood in the water. If that happens, you're officially out of luck. In these rare moments, piranhas attack in coordinated packs, using their incredible sense of smell to hone in on anything bleeding, injured, or struggling in the water. Their bites are so fast and powerful that in just a few seconds, dozens of them can tear through flesh like a living buzzsaw. While a full-grown human wouldn't be eaten alive in seconds, like in the movies, there have been verified cases of people who bled out and drowned because piranhas attacked the moment they showed weakness. Even jaguars, caimans, and large birds have fallen victim to these miniature flesh-shredding nightmares. The Amazon River, a place where you are not safe. Most people imagine rivers as calm, peaceful places to swim and relax. But in the Amazon, the water is a hunting ground, and everything in it is looking for an easy meal. The black caiman dominates the riverbanks, waiting to ambush anything that dares to come too close. The arapaima rules the deeper waters, striking both above and below the surface. The piranhas swarm in coordinated frenzies, leaving nothing behind but bones. And if you think that's terrifying, just wait. Because next up, we're diving into the most horrifying creatures of all, the parasites that turn you into their personal feeding station. Most predators in the Amazon are terrifying because of their size, speed, or strength. Jaguars crush skulls, caimans drag victims into the depths, and venomous snakes deliver instant death with a single bite. But these killers have one thing in common: they attack from the outside. Now imagine something far worse, a predator that doesn't chase you, doesn't stalk you, and doesn't even attack you from the outside. Instead, it gets inside you, takes over your body, and uses you as its personal feeding station. Welcome to the nightmare world of parasites. In the Amazon, being eaten alive isn't just a possibility, it's a daily reality. But sometimes the jungle doesn't just kill you. Sometimes it keeps you alive just long enough to let you rot from the inside out. The kangaroo fish, the horror that swims inside you. You've probably heard some wild horror stories about the kangaroo fish, also known as the vampire fish of the Amazon. And let me tell you, the legends are real. The kangaroo is a tiny eel-like parasite that is normally harmless to humans, unless you make one very specific mistake. This fish has an unusual hunting method. Instead of using fangs, venom, or brute force, it follows urine trails in the water, sniffing out the waste expelled by larger fish. Once it finds a host, it swims straight into the gills, hooks itself in place with tiny spines, and starts drinking blood. Now here's the nightmare scenario. For centuries, there have been stories of unfortunate swimmers, especially men, who relieve themselves in the Amazon River, unknowingly inviting a kangaroo straight into their most sensitive body part. The fish, mistaking the urine for a food source, swims upstream, straight into the urethra, where it lodges itself inside, spreading its spines so it can't be removed. The pain? Indescribable. The solution? Surgery. The kangaroo doesn't come out on its own, and traditional methods, like pulling, only make things worse. The only way to get rid of it is to cut it out. There are documented medical cases where this exact horror has happened, and trust me, it's as bad as it sounds. But if you think that's bad, at least the kangaroo is fast about it. Some Amazon parasites take their time, eating you slowly from the inside. Botflies, the maggots that live under your skin. Imagine waking up one morning with an itchy lump on your skin. It feels like a mosquito bite. Maybe a little swollen, maybe a little sore. Days go by and the lump keeps growing. It starts throbbing, it moves, and then something inside starts wriggling. Congratulations! You are now the proud host of a botfly larva. Botflies don't just lay eggs on their victims. No, that would be too normal. Instead, these nightmare insects lay eggs inside the skin of mammals, including humans. But here's the worst part. They don't do it themselves. Instead, botflies use mosquitoes as their delivery system. First, a mosquito bites you completely normal. But what you don't know is that this mosquito was carrying botfly eggs. The heat of your skin causes the eggs to hatch instantly, and within seconds, tiny botfly larvae burrow their way under your skin, setting up camp in your body like it's a five-star hotel. Over the next few weeks, the larvae grow. They eat your flesh, expanding in size, while their tiny breathing hole remains just beneath the surface of your skin. That's right. There's a literal hole in your body so the maggot inside you can breathe. If you press on the lump, you can actually feel it moving inside. Some unlucky souls don't realize what's happening until the pain becomes unbearable. That's when doctors, or in desperate cases locals with knives, cut the larvae out by force. But some people let it grow until the fully developed maggot bursts out of their skin on its own. And if that's not horrifying enough, botflies don't discriminate. They'll infect anything that moves: humans, monkeys, dogs, even jaguars. No one is safe. But if maggots under your skin sound bad, at least they don't eat your face off. Leishmaniasis, the flesh-eating parasite. This next parasite is so nightmarish that it sounds like science fiction. But I promise you it's real. Leishmania is a microscopic parasite that is transmitted through sandfly bites. At first, you wouldn't even know you've been infected. A tiny, itchy bump appears, nothing worse than a mosquito bite. But then, the flesh around the bite starts to die. Over time, the infection spreads, eating away at the skin, muscle, and tissue. It doesn't stop. It doesn't heal. It just keeps consuming you. In extreme cases, it spreads to the face, leading to a grotesque condition known as white leprosy, where entire sections of the nose, lips and cheeks rot away, leaving gaping holes. There is no guaranteed cure. Some people recover with aggressive medical treatment, but others are permanently disfigured. And the worst part? There are millions of cases every year. It's one of the most common tropical diseases in the world. And if you're walking through the Amazon, you're in leishmania territory. But maybe you're lucky. Maybe you avoid the flesh-eating parasites and the urethra-invading fish. Maybe, just maybe, you make it out of the Amazon without something growing inside you. Unfortunately, that still doesn't mean you're safe. Because the jungle's smallest killers don't need to infest your body to kill you. They just need to bite you once. Chagas disease, the assassin bug's deadly kiss. At first glance, the assassin bug doesn't seem too threatening. It's just an oversized, ugly insect that crawls around at night. But this bug has one of the most sinister attack methods in the animal kingdom. It waits until you're asleep. It sneaks onto your face, and while you're dreaming peacefully, it bites your lips. That's why it's also known as the kissing bug. But this isn't a love story. It's a slow, silent death sentence. Because while the bite itself is harmless, the assassin bug carries something far worse in its saliva. The parasite that causes Chagas disease. Chagas disease doesn't kill you right away. Instead, it invades your body and waits. It hides in your organs for years, sometimes decades, doing slow, irreversible damage. One day, out of nowhere, you have heart failure, not knowing that this tiny bug bite from years ago was the cause. Chagas kills thousands of people every year and has no reliable cure once it reaches its final stage. And the worst part? You won't even know you've been infected until it's too late. The Amazon, a place where you are the prey. The Amazon is full of terrifying predators, from jaguars to caimans, venomous snakes to flesh-eating piranhas. But the worst killers in the jungle don't roar, don't bite, and don't chase you. They simply get inside you and wait. And if you think parasites are bad, just wait. Because next up, we're diving into the Amazon's most mysterious creatures, the ones science still can't explain. The Amazon is one of the most mysterious and misunderstood places on Earth. It's a jungle so vast, dense and untamed that entire civilizations have disappeared within its depths, never to be seen again. It's a place where fact and legend blur together, where stories of monsters, lost cities and ancient curses have been passed down for centuries. But how much of it is real? Is there a giant anaconda lurking in the rivers, waiting to drag entire boats under? Do piranhas actually devour people in seconds like Hollywood loves to show? And what about the mysterious lights, strange disappearances, and hidden creatures science hasn't even discovered yet? Today, we separate fact from fiction and uncover the real mysteries of the Amazon. The giant anaconda. Is there a 50-foot monster hiding in the rivers? Few creatures have inspired more fear, more exaggeration, and more horror stories than the green anaconda. The idea of a 50-foot snake slithering through the jungle, capable of swallowing a man whole, has been a favorite among explorers, cryptozoologists, and snake lovers for centuries. But does it actually exist? The largest confirmed anaconda ever measured was around 30 feet, 9 meters long, and weighed about 500 pounds, which is already horrifyingly massive. That's basically a moving muscle rope as thick as a car tire. Unlike pythons, which rely on their size and speed, anacondas use sheer power and patience. They wait underwater, completely still, their nostrils barely above the surface. And when something gets too close, they strike, wrapping their enormous coils around their prey and squeezing until the victim's ribs collapse. But is there a 50-foot anaconda out there? For years, locals and explorers have claimed to see supersized anacondas, creatures so large that they could swallow an entire canoe or drag a horse into the water. In 1906, a British explorer, Percy Fawcett, claimed he saw a 60-foot anaconda and even shot at it, but the body was never recovered. Similar stories have been told for decades. While no anaconda of that size has ever been officially recorded, the Amazon is still largely unexplored, especially its deepest waters. Could there be a hidden, undiscovered giant lurking in the rivers? Science says probably not. But would you really want to test that theory by swimming in an anaconda-infested river? Piranhas, flesh-eating monsters or overhyped fish? If Hollywood is to be believed, piranhas are mindless, bloodthirsty demons that can strip a full-grown man to the bone in under a minute. Movies show them as aggressive, relentless killers that attack anything that falls into the water. But how much of that is true? The truth is, piranhas do bite, and they do eat meat. They have razor-sharp teeth, one of the strongest bites for their size, and can absolutely tear through flesh, but they don't mindlessly attack anything that enters the water. Piranhas are opportunistic feeders, not killers. They prefer dying, injured, or dead animals, rather than actively hunting large, healthy prey. Most of the time, piranhas eat smaller fish, insects, and fallen fruit, not people. However, when the water level drops, food becomes scarce. Or if a large school of them smells blood in the water, they can go into a feeding frenzy.
Have piranhas ever eaten a person?
Yes, but not the way you think. Most recorded piranha-related deaths involved already dead bodies being scavenged, not live people being attacked. There have been cases where unlucky individuals drowned, and when their bodies were recovered, they had been partially eaten by piranhas. But an active attack where someone is eaten alive, extremely rare. So while piranhas are dangerous, fast, and deadly in the right circumstances, they aren't the relentless, human-devouring monsters movies make them out to be. Still, if you're bleeding in piranha-infested waters, you might want to get out, fast. El Dorado, the lost city of gold, or just a legend? For centuries, explorers have been obsessed with finding the lost city of El Dorado, a mythical land of gold, wealth, and unimaginable riches hidden deep within the Amazon. The legend began with the indigenous tribes who spoke of a king covered in gold dust, performing rituals in a golden city. Spanish conquistadors, fueled by greed and insanity, searched for years, convinced they would find entire cities built of gold. Expeditions went deep into the rainforest, many never returning. Some claimed to have seen evidence, ruins, golden artifacts, carvings, but no actual city of gold was ever found. So, was El Dorado real? Modern archaeology suggests that while a literal golden city never existed, there were massive advanced civilizations deep in the Amazon. Scientists have discovered traces of ancient cities, complex road systems, and even massive geoglyphs hidden beneath the rainforest, suggesting that a huge, thriving society once existed. So while there may not be a city made entirely of gold, the real story might be even more fascinating. A forgotten civilization lost to time, swallowed by the jungle, waiting to be rediscovered. The Amazonian UFO phenomenon. What are the floating lights? For centuries, locals in the Amazon have reported seeing mysterious floating lights deep in the jungle. These glowing orbs, sometimes called the wandering spirits, or boitata, appear at night, hovering above the trees, moving without explanation. Some say they are the spirits of the dead. Others believe they are ancient gods watching over the jungle. But what do scientists say? One explanation is that these lights are bioluminescent insects, fireflies, or swamp gas igniting when mixed with methane. Another theory suggests they could be electromagnetic disturbances caused by geological activity. But then there are the UFO theories. Numerous reports over the years claim these lights are not natural at all, but instead unidentified flying objects. There have been recorded sightings of glowing craft hovering above the rainforest, moving in ways that defy physics. Some researchers believe the Amazon, one of the least explored places on Earth, could be hiding more than just undiscovered species. Are these lights just a trick of nature, or is something far stranger happening in the depths of the Amazon? The answer remains unknown. So what's real and what's just a jungle story? The Amazon is a land of real nightmares and exaggerated legends. Some myths, like piranhas being mindless man-eaters, have been blown out of proportion, while others, like the idea of a lost civilization buried beneath the jungle, are more real than we ever imagined. Could a 50-foot anaconda be lurking in the rivers? Possibly. Is there a hidden ancient city still waiting to be found? Maybe. Are mysterious lights and strange encounters happening in the jungle? Absolutely. One thing is certain. The Amazon still holds secrets we have yet to uncover. And if this rainforest has taught us anything, it's that nature always has surprises waiting. But while some myths are just stories, the next chapter is about something very real. Because if you think predators are scary, the Amazon is the beating heart of our planet, a living, breathing machine that produces 20% of the world's oxygen and houses more species than any other ecosystem on Earth. It's not just a jungle, it's a vast, untamed empire of life, stretching across 9 countries and covering over 5.5 million square kilometers of raw, untouched wilderness. But what if it all vanished? What if, piece by piece, tree by tree, the Amazon was wiped off the map? What if the greatest jungle on Earth collapsed, burned, or simply died? It sounds like science fiction, but the terrifying reality is that it's already happening. The Amazon is being destroyed at an alarming rate. Every single day, thousands of acres of rainforest are cleared for farming, cattle ranching and illegal logging. The rivers are poisoned by gold mining, the skies are choked with smoke from endless wildfires, and entire species are vanishing before we even have the chance to discover them. And here's the nightmare scenario. If the Amazon dies, the entire planet goes with it. The Amazon's death spiral, a chain reaction of disaster. Right now, the Amazon is holding the planet together. It absorbs billions of tons of carbon dioxide, regulates global weather patterns, and keeps countless species alive. But when the rainforest is cut down, it doesn't just disappear quietly. It sets off a chain reaction that could lead to global catastrophe. First, the trees disappear. Without their dense canopies, the rainforest starts drying out. The humidity drops, the rain slows, and the once thriving jungle turns into a patchwork of dying land. Then the wildfires take over. With drier conditions, fires spread faster and hotter, turning what was once a thriving ecosystem into a smoking wasteland. As the jungle burns, the carbon stored in the trees is released back into the atmosphere. Instead of absorbing CO2, the Amazon becomes a massive carbon bomb, speeding up climate change at a rate we can't control. And then the wildlife collapses. Without the jungle, entire species disappear. Jaguars, sloths, anacondas, harpy eagles gone. Millions of insects, amphibians, and birds that exist nowhere else on Earth, extinct. Indigenous tribes that have lived in harmony with the jungle for thousands of years, forced to flee or die with it. And the worst part, this isn't some far-off future problem. The Amazon is already on the edge of collapse. Scientists warn that if deforestation continues at its current rate, the rainforest could reach a tipping point within our lifetime. The rainforest's final warning: the Amazon is becoming a desert. You might think the rainforest is indestructible. After all, it's been around for millions of years, surviving ice ages, mass extinctions, and even asteroid impacts. But today, it's facing something it was never prepared for: us. The Amazon has a natural way of sustaining itself. The trees pull water from the soil and release it into the air, creating massive rain clouds that keep the entire region wet and alive. But when too many trees are cut down, that cycle breaks. Less rain falls, the rivers shrink, and the once humid jungle starts transforming into dry savanna. Scientists have already seen it happening. Large parts of the Amazon are drying out, losing their ability to recover. Some researchers predict that if deforestation reaches just 25% of the Amazon, the entire ecosystem will collapse beyond the point of no return. Right now, we're already at about 17%. And what happens if the rainforest turns into a desert? Well, here's the brutal truth. The Amazon River, one of the largest and most powerful waterways in the world, could shrink, leaving millions without fresh water. The jungle's carbon storage ability would be gone, accelerating climate change faster than ever before. The Amazon's unique weather system, which influences global wind and rain patterns, would completely shift, leading to massive droughts, floods, and hurricanes across the planet. Entire ecosystems outside the Amazon, including parts of North America and Europe, would experience drastic climate changes, affecting food supplies and leading to mass extinctions worldwide. The Amazon isn't just important for the creatures that live there, it's crucial for all of us. If it dies, the entire planet will feel the impact. Who is killing the Amazon? So who's responsible for this destruction? Unfortunately, the answer isn't just one villain, it's many. Cattle ranching. The Amazon is being burned down to make room for beef production. Over 80% of deforestation in the rainforest is linked to clearing land for cattle. Illegal logging. The jungle is being hacked apart for valuable timber, with corporations and black market traders making billions by selling Amazonian trees. Mining and pollution. Gold mining operations dump toxic mercury into the rivers, poisoning the water, the fish, and the indigenous communities that rely on them. Road construction. Every road built into the jungle leads to more destruction, allowing illegal loggers, miners, and farmers to clear even deeper into the forest. Climate change, rising global temperatures make the Amazon drier and more flammable, increasing wildfires that destroy thousands of acres every year. The Amazon is being destroyed not by one problem, but by a perfect storm of greed, exploitation, and environmental ignorance. Can the Amazon be saved? The good news? It's not too late. The Amazon is tough. It has survived for millions of years, adapting to everything nature has thrown at it. If given a chance, it can recover. Scientists have found that even heavily damaged areas of the rainforest can regrow if left alone. New technology, like AI and satellite tracking, is being used to monitor illegal deforestation in real time. Indigenous communities, who have been protecting the jungle for generations, are fighting harder than ever to stop outsiders from destroying their land. But the truth is, saving the Amazon will take global action. It means stopping illegal deforestation and holding corporations accountable for rainforest destruction, protecting indigenous lands where deforestation rates are much lower, shifting to sustainable farming practices that don't involve burning down forests, fighting climate change globally because a hotter planet means a drier Amazon, supporting conservation efforts, reforestation projects, and organizations working to save the jungle. We are at a crossroads. The Amazon can still be saved, but only if we act now. Final thoughts. The jungle's fate is in our hands. The Amazon is more than just a rainforest. It's a lifeline for the planet. It's a place where jaguars still rule, where ancient civilizations remain hidden, and where nature's most incredible creatures thrive. It is one of the last truly wild places on Earth. But it's also on the edge of collapse. If we lose the Amazon, we lose far more than just trees. We lose the climate stability that keeps our world balanced. We lose species that have existed for millions of years. We lose an ecosystem so powerful that it controls the weather, the air, and the very breath of life itself. The Amazon is fighting to survive. The question is, will we fight for it too? The end, or just the beginning? The jungle's story is not over yet. There is still time to protect it, still time to explore its mysteries, and still time to uncover its greatest secrets. Because if there's one thing the Amazon has taught us, it's that it's always full of surprises. And as long as it still stands, it will always hunt you back. If you loved this, imagine seeing it on screen, because the real Amazon, it's even wilder than you think. Subscribe our channel and like the video. We will be very grateful to you. Also, write in the comments what topics you are interested in the future.